making sure there were no more Unwelcome nearby. Lyla turned back to Addie. "No, you need to get to the rest of the camp quickly. That's more important." Lyla wasn't sure how long it would take for the Unwelcome to respond to the missing ship and liaison, but they had to be aware by now, and they would send someone to check soon. Everyone from Addlewood needed to be long gone before that happened. Jamal nudged his chin toward the two prisoners. What if they don't cooperate? Lyla flicked a glance over both of them. The male had blonde hair. The female had short red hair, just like her brother. She was glad Arthur wasn't nearby right now to hear her words. They were bringing the Unwelcome with them for questioning. They needed to learn all they could about what the Naku knew and what they planned. Killing them before, when they offered no threat, felt like murder. Even now, the thought of it felt cold-blooded. But if they in any way endangered the people with her... She looked Jamal right in the eye. Then they die. 2. The lights that lined the dark gray metallic floor emitted a soft hum. Xantar's gray body was covered in a white tunic, and he wore slipper shoes on his feet, the material of both almost weightless. The fragile Naku bodies could not handle the friction of any heavier material against their skin. The hum followed Xantar as he made his way slowly down the hall. His legs ached today, and had begun to shake even before he reached the end of the hall. He paused, one thin gray arm resting against the wall. In the muted white light, it looked even a few shades paler than the normal gray. His long fingers rested there, his large, bony knuckles stark in the light. He tapped his wrist unit and a door slid open down the hall. A whirring noise approached him. He turned as his glider lowered to the ground next to him. Grasping the railing along the top, he slid his body through the opening and sat down with a sigh. The foam on the seat cushioned his aching bones. More foam slid from the wall of the glider, encasing his legs and massaging his aching muscles. Ah, much better. He directed the glider to the control room. He'd been notified that there was a problem with one of their Virfina. The doors to the control room slid open at his approach. All Naku inside turned to him, placing one finger to their forehead before returning their focus to their work. Windows lined the far wall, providing a view of New City below and the land for miles around. Xantar did not even glance at it. Views were not important factors. Why the makers of the ship had thought to create a glass wall was beyond Xantar's understanding. Fedgel stepped away from his console. He was a younger Naku, with far fewer wrinkles on his face and an ability to stand for much longer periods of time. But his mind was not as finely attuned as Xantar's. At 1,300 years old, Xantar had accrued the most knowledge of any Naku on the ship, making him their leader. When he passed, the next oldest would take the mantle of authority. There was no ambition, no jealousy. Efficiency was the key to the Naku society. Efficiency and unemotional reason. But in Xantar's opinion, that lack of emotion was their one flaw. It made them reliant on others when dealing with more emotional species, like the humans. There were always risks with such species. They could not be trusted. They often said one thing and meant another. Their liaisons were kept on a tight leash, with constant mental probing to make sure their actions were being conducted in the best interest of the Naku. The probing, however, damaged their brains beyond repair within a few months, rendering them non-functional. But there were always more humans that could be utilized. Xantar focused his energy on Fedgel, pulling his mental signature from the others in the room. One of their liaisons had disappeared with a contingent of Avid, the Naku slaves who the humans had dubbed the Unwelcome. "Has the liaison been found?" "Yes, esteemed leader. He is dead." "By whose hand?" "Unclear. His contingent is dead as well." "All of them?" "2 are missing, and based on the other Avids at the scene, we deduce they are dead as well." Xantar paused at the unexpectedness of Fedgel's words. They had created the Chelva to be powerful. Their uniform